Live Lounge Month.
All right, it is the start of Live Lounge Month. It's 2020. It's the remix. You know what it is. Things are definitely different from last year, but that doesn't mean they are not better. And I'm so very excited to have the one they call Miley down the line, live from LA. Miley Cyrus, welcome.
Hello.
Hiya. Now look, as we know, you are no stranger to the Live Lounge. You are our very first artist. Yeah, I mean, look, how does it feel to kick things off?
You know, it feels like this is kind of home to me in a way. It's just become such a staple part of no matter what I'm doing. You know, I think last time that I was at Live Lounge, it was doing Nothing Breaks with Mark. This is one of the first times I haven't actually been in the lounge with my people, especially usually that means that I'm, you know, kind of on some sort of Euro tour at that point. And it's just interesting. Like you said, it's definitely a remix, but I'm happy to be the one kicking it off. I just look forward to the time that we're all reunited again.
It will happen. 2021 again.
That.
We're thinking forward, but also staying in the present.
Exactly.
So you're going to be doing Midnight Sky today and Slide Away. And of course, with the Live Lounge, you are doing that all-important cover, and we cannot wait.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love what Live Lounge, you know, it's kind of been a staple, I think, for me over the last few years. I don't even really keep plaques or accolades because I get a little, you know, I think it can sometimes stop your kind of passion of like, you know, wanting to climb that chain to the top. But my plaque that I do have is from my first time doing Live Lounge with Summertime Sadness. I got that summertime sadness. And it's one of my favorite plaques that I have because I think, you know, covers have been a really big part of my journey as an artist and throughout my career. And that's why I chose the cover that I'm doing today, My Future by Billie Eilish, because what I really like about it is that I feel like you can hear all of her inspirations. You could kind of imagine her past and her future and her present all coming together to kind of create this happy marriage. I've always wanted my music to tell a story of where I've been and also kind of project, I guess, in some way where I'm going, even though this year has also been a good example of we all have no idea where we're going. But that's also been a really healthy exercise. But what I really like about the song is I feel like I have a better understanding of what created Billie Eilish, why she became the artist that she is. You can kind of hear the past and what her musical food was growing up, I guess.
Okay, so Miley, we're going to hear Midnight Sky. So this is the introduction to like the sort of next era of your life as an artist. Tell us about the track. Like, how did it sort of come to you?
You know, I think the toughest part of deciding your first single off a body of work is knowing that song will kind of almost lay the groundwork for what's to come. I think people will assume that that's what the record sounds like. So there's a lot of pressure when it comes to releasing the first song. And I thought that, you know, kind of lyrically and sonically, this was a good reflection of where I'm going. It's definitely got, it's like my records, I try to give them a journey, a start to finish and like a total arc. And it goes there and goes to a lot of different places. But I felt like if I could pick one song off the record, I felt like this was reflective of where the album was going to go. And it was the most current song. I only wrote the song about 6 weeks ago. So I thought it was a good time to be able to say, hey, this is where I am right now. You know, because sometimes when we put records out, you overthink and there's months in between from when you write it and when you release it. And I thought that this was kind of the most of where I am right now, the most reflective of the period that I am sitting in.
Yeah, it's been a long night and the mirror's telling me to go home. But it's been a long time since I felt this good on my own. A lot of years went by with my hands tied up in your ropes. Forever and ever, no more. The midnight sky is the road I'm taking. Head high up in the clouds. I was born to run, I don't belong to anyone. I'm not, I don't need to be loved by you. Fire in my lungs, can't fight the devil on my tongue. I'm not, I don't need to be loved by you. hair pulled back as the sweat dripping off of her face. She said it ain't so bad if I wanna make a couple mistakes, but you should know right now that I'll never stay put in one place forever and ever. No more, no more. The midnight sky is the road I'm taking, head high up in the clouds. I was born to run, I don't belong to anyone. Oh no, I don't need to be loved by you. Fire in my lungs can't fight the devil on my tongue. Oh no, I don't need to be loved by you. See my lips on a mile, everybody's talking now, baby. Ooh, you know it's true, yeah, that I was born to run. I don't belong to anyone. Oh no, I don't need to be loved by you. I don't hide blurry eyes like you, like you. I was born to run, I don't belong to anyone. Oh no,
I don't need to be loved by you.
fire in my lungs can't fight the devil on my tongue, you know.
I don't need to be loved by you.
See his hands round my waist, thought you'd never be replaced, baby. Ooh, you know it's true. I was born to run, I don't belong to anyone. No,
I don't need to be loved by you.
yeah. La 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 la. You know it's true. You know it's true. Loved by you.
Okay, Miley Cyrus, you gave us those vocals that we love. The range remains there. That was a delight. I love this sort of like the punch to the gut of that song.
Agreed. You know, I think this song, again, it's like as kind of fresh and as current as it could be, kind of feeling. I think it's been a reflective period for all of us, which is why I chose the disco ball to kind of represent the song. It's again, we're all just kind of reflecting right now.
For sure, for sure. From Wrecking Ball to Disco Ball, I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I see the growth. I feel it. So look, you're not just performing your new single for us today. You're also going to be performing an extra track, which is going to be Slide Away. Can you tell us about it? Because I remember just how, I guess, it was such an insightful song for us to hear at the time, because it was just brutally honest, and I think an honesty that a lot of people weren't expecting from you so soon after what happened in your life at the time.
I think Slide Away, the reason I wanted to kind of use it is it's like a point of reference of the growth and of my journey over the last year and a half, because I think you can kind of tell where I've been, where I'm at, and where I'm going. So I think it's really important that Slide Away is paired with Midnight Sky, because I think it gives a really nice point of reference. So you can really, again, like we talked about, my music tries that I try to have an arc. I think it really shows that each end of the rainbow kind of feeling.
Yeah, because there's such a vulnerability in Slide Away, and obviously like Midnight Sky is very much like, this is me, like, and what?
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, it's kind of like seeing something that's broken and then seeing it put back together again, which is again why I use the disco ball as this kind of metaphor, was because that's really what a disco ball is. It's a bunch of broken pieces put back together again to kind of create this totally mesmerizing, beautiful being. And that's what we all just hope we can be, is like take our broken pieces, align ourselves enough to be as kind of, you know, beautiful. And also, you know, I love the way that people are really attracted to disco balls. Something about their brokenness and their reflection. That's usually where the party is right underneath that broken object, which I just think is a really kind of cool metaphor for where I'm at.
Once upon a time it was paradise. Once upon a time ocean. I'll go back to the city lights, back to the ocean. No, 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 you slide away. Move on, we're not 17. I'm not who I used to be. You say that everything's changed. You're right, I'm gone now. You're right, we're gone now. Yeah, you're right, you're right. You're right, we're gone now.
Well, that was absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
So, Miley, you're going to be performing Midnight Sky today for us, and also Slide Away, and not one, but two covers, two really special covers for completely different reasons. Can you let us know what they're going to be?
So I'm covering My Future by Billie Eilish because I really like the idea that I love when a current artist is inspired by the past. And I think that song obviously has a little bit of some jazz standard kind of inspiration in there, which I love, because my story that I've told throughout my career is always bringing back, whether it's Stevie Nicks on something like Midnight Sky or covering Jolene, but always just kind of giving that gratitude and playing that homage towards the music that made us the artists we are now. And then speaking of, you know, what's made us who we are now, my grandmother recently passed away. I was actually in Glam getting ready for a Midnight Sky performance, and my mom called, and she didn't even have to say what had happened. I could just tell. So I ran down the hill with literally one half of my face on, and I've never got in my car and left so fast in my entire life, and just went and spent the week healing with my mom. And we've had the Eagles on repeat because that was my mammy's favorite record. She loved the Eagles. And so Take It to the Limit is a song that my mom and her mom sang in the car every day on their way to school. So kind of, again, you know, without her, the Eagles have been a big inspiration for me. And it's just about kind of, you know, giving that respect to the people that pass down music that have made us who we are.
Well, look, as you said, your mammy was fierce. I mean, I've been checking out the videos that you shared of her. Love her dancing to 4 Minutes by Madonna and Justin.
Oh, me too. You know what? And what I loved about my grandma is she was just always down. I wouldn't always tell her what she was getting herself into, like the bacon brownies with Snoop Dogg. She didn't know was a part of his Mary Jane endorsement. Hey. But she would always be down to do, you know, creative projects with me. And pretty much if I was on a tour bus, you would find her in the back hanging out, you know, always there and keeping a loving watch. You know, that was something I had said at her funeral, was it was never like that kind of no reason to be there to kind of, I don't know, it was just always very loving instead of something that felt like she was ever hovering or not giving me my space. And my brother, who's tattooed from the forehead down, said never, ever, ever did she treat him any different, you know, from looking the way that he would have as a kid to the way he is now. And my grandma did not grow up that way. She was super conservative, but now becoming the person I am and who my brother is and my little sister, I mean, we just all feel so accepted. I think that's where I got that value, is that everyone should be free to be who they want to be. And that's what my grandma lived by.
Take it to the limit, take one, common marker, Mark.
About a woman who might have loved me, but I never knew. You know, I've always been a dreamer. I've spent my life running round, and it's so hard to change, and I can't seem to settle down, but the dream show
Okay, so Miley, today you are spoiling us with not one, but two covers, and it is time for your second. Now, you are taking on the work of one Miss Billie Eilish. Do you see a lot of yourself in her?
You know, I think I see my little sister a lot, and I see that kind of like that generation of just that awareness that I think is so new and fresh. And I love the idea that we are like falling in love with ourselves. And I think that's something that's so important, because right now I think there's so many unrealistic ideals of what especially women should be or should look like, or what our priorities are. And for me, I grew up in an era where it wasn't okay to wear sweatpants on stage. I grew up in a time where you were supposed to have on a bedazzled bodysuit and go out and do choreography and swing around from something or get naked. And it is a different generation of this time. I think a lot of the female artists are regaining that power and saying, I'm an artist and I look the way that I want to reflect who I am. And I see a really healthy role model for the girls like my little sister. And so to that, I kind of do see something that I identify with, because I feel like I did have a lot of awareness, you know, even kind of my political views and being outspoken about that, even growing up on Disney when that wasn't always encouraged. I just encourage, you know, artists using their voice, and not just to sing and to entertain us, but to make change. And I always see Billie out there being an activist first. You know, that's the kind of triple threats I want. I want singer, actress, activist. Those are important. And so I like when people are an artist and an activist at the same time. So I respect that a lot.
Me too. Well, look, I guess let's hear you, I guess, show your love and respect for this artist. So let's get into it. This is Miley Cyrus and her version of My Future by Billie Eilish for Live Lounge Month 2020.
I can't seem to focus, and you don't seem to notice I'm not here. I'm just a mirror. You check your complexion to find your reflections all alone. I do. Can't you hear me? I'm not coming home. Do you understand? I've changed my plans, 'cause I'm in love with my future. Can't wait to meet her. I'm in love, but not with anybody else. Just wanna get to know myself. I know supposedly I'm lonely now. I know I'm supposed to be unhappy without someone, but aren't I someone? I'd like to be your answer, 'cause you're so handsome. But I know but probably not.
Miley, look, you've done it again. Another, it's like, just, look, I think, like, covers just seem to make you come alive in a different way.
I think, one thing that I love about covers is I love getting to interpret something and not just take kind of what you see. I never followed the color by numbers. I just chose whatever color I want, no matter what number it said to do. So I think that that's kind of what I imagine a cover feels like, is kind of looking like a color by number and saying, these are just suggestions and you can interpret it how you want. And I think that's kind of been the way that I guess kind of go about my arrangement.
Well, no, we definitely heard it. Never colouring within the lines, because why should you? Choosing your own colours. Miley Cyrus, thank you so much for launching Live Lounge Month 2020. I mean, look, no pressure to anybody else. Sorry. But look, Miley, thank you. And
thank you very much.
We will see you in 2021 with a big old sweaty hug and
Love
kiss.
it in flesh. Yes,
yeah,
please.
Man. Bring it on. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Live Lounge Month.